But yeah, we can keep it pushing to this main event because this was a banger main event. I was stoked on it. I loved the matchup. I loved the implications. Yeah, this was not going to be a boring fight, right?
No,
just
it
wasn't
couldn't
going to
be.
be.
Couldn't be.
Yeah. So we got Johnny Walker coming in plus 185, 10th ranked light heavyweight against Jamal Hill, minus 225 favorite over the higher ranked fighter coming in at ranked 12th in the light heavyweight division. And I'll be real, I didn't realize Jamal Hill was 6'4". Now, granted, nobody looks tall standing next to Johnny Walker. I thought Jamal Hill was 6'2", maybe even 6'3". I didn't realize he was 6'4". I mean, that's like, John Jones height. I mean,
Funny you say that, bro. I've heard an interview where Jamal Hill has talked about him, like in his own interview. They were like, "What fighter do you compare yourself to?" And he literally was like, "I think I'm most like John Jones." And they were like, "That's a pretty wild comparison." He was like, "If you look at our measurables, we're very, very similar." He was like, "My fight style is the same," like a lot of things like that.
Yeah, I think the measurables is probably where I'll probably end the comparison. But
well,
point,
like height, reach, weight.
Yeah, I agree with all that. He's very similar body type to John Jones for sure. And then the light heavyweight division, honestly. And so this wasn't originally supposed to be the main event, but I'm honestly glad it became the main event. I'm glad for Jamal Hill.
Fun fight,
Johnny Walker kind of kept him a little. Well, we'll get to it because it's kind of becoming sad. It was even sad. I mean, it's been sad, kind of, right? But I'm happy for Jamal Hill, but this was supposed to be Fiziev Dos Anjos, which got moved to the pay-per-view. But I have a conspiracy theory. I don't think anybody got hurt. That pay-per-view was looking lean. They needed that fight.
They needed to juice it. They wanted to. Yep.
I don't think anybody's hurt at all, which is good. I obviously don't want anybody to be hurt, but I don't think it was a wake-up problem. I don't think anybody was hurt. That pay-per-view was looking lean, and that's a sick fight. And that would have been an incredible fight to get for free. But also, I didn't have a bad taste in my mouth because I was still stoked for this fight. I don't know. It worked out good. But yeah, Johnny Walker, Johnny Walker is
the
Armenian last name.
Edmund Shabazian.
Shabazian. He's the Shabazian of the light heavyweight division, right? And I think they're like similar narratives, similar career arcs. Like young studs burst onto the scene, get maybe
flashy wins,
and then when it goes downhill, it goes downhill pretty fast. The storyline was that this was the guy that everybody thought was going to beat Jones. When
he was coming up, yeah.
That's what, man, and then you look. The Khalil Roundtree win, it ends. I guess it ages pretty good, but you got to look at these other wins, and then the guys he's losing to are studs, mind you. He hasn't lost to a single bun, and the wins over Serkinov and Span and Roundtree. Those are decent wins, but the guys he's lost to versus the guys he's beat are like two different caliber of guys. And I think it is fair to say they rushed him and maybe, didn't let him develop. And maybe the chin has taken some damage and the ego's taken some damage. The belief has taken some damage, perhaps. But anyway, that's looking at glass half empty for Johnny Walker. On the other hand, Jamal Hill, man, I don't know if I've ever seen somebody bounce back from like a potentially career-ending injury better. He's like the Adrian Peterson of UFC as far as
looks great.
Approximately 12 months ago, he got his arm torn in two by Paul Craig. And mind you, I don't believe I realized that that's the only loss of his entire career.
He said he just dislocated his elbow, though.
Yeah, it looked
and he said he popped it back in the back, and it wasn't like a big deal. He was saying that after, but no one believed it because it looked gruesome.
It looked like he literally got like torn in half. So yeah, so he bounced it back super good from that. Only loss of his career, and like I said the wins over St. Preux and Jimmy Crute, and the way he does it, right? He puts guys the fuck out. Jimmy.
Yeah, he has that touchdown
in 48
power.
seconds. 48 seconds, Jimmy Crute, who's a respected tough guy. Like I said, the loss to Paul Craig, kind of looking a little fluky in hindsight. But all right, so we got Johnny Walker, and this fight, how long did it last? When because it ends in the first round.
I believe
255. So
yeah,
it was
255.
A quick one.
Yeah,
it was a quick one, and I gotta say, it started off a little bit feeling out, but Hill started to land. you could just see the confidence grow like per land, like literally almost like a special meter on a video game. Like,
Yeah.
because when you're fighting a 6'6" guy, when you're fighting a guy who's main evented before, it was Jamahal Hill's first main event. You know, maybe it's not doubt, but it's just like you know, you don't want to
Like a
just like walk.
nervousness.
Yeah, nervousness, and you don't want to walk into something. You don't want to, you know, just make an early
Maybe maybe
mistake or
maybe
beat
maybe
yourself.
maybe tactfulness, you know, like
Yeah,
being
yeah, yeah,
smart.
exactly. And so there's a little bit of that at first, but then, like I said, when Jamahal Hill started to have success, it was just kind of, it was like a snowball. You just see the confidence growing, the special meter growing, and it took about 2 minutes and 55 seconds for that special meter sweet dream special move to get activated, and it was a weird one in real time. It was
A
another
big
one
overhand
where,
right that just connects on the temple, like just almost like a glancing connection, but like hit just on the button enough to like turn Walker's lights like pretty much completely out. And then he got slid a mean one to the chin.
Walker does this, literally
Yeah, his arms went up. Like he literally arms went up and fell backwards.
crazy looking. And it was another one that in real time, I was watching it, paying attention. I wasn't 100% sure what happened in real
Yeah,
time.
that was I just thought Jamahal Hill like did like he just must have that touch of death power, man, because like the way
Well,
that landed made no sense to put him in that sort of like sense.
yeah, like I mean, this is obviously hyperbole and obviously kind of a cheap hanging fruit comparison, but like Ngannou-esque, to where you don't have to land clean, Lewis-esque, right? Like you don't have to land clean and guys still go to sleep.
It's that kind of power for sure, man.
And he's a guy who looks super healthy in there. Like I'm sure he cuts some weight, but he doesn't look like he cuts a bunch of weight. Like he looks healthy in there. He's a big guy. Like I said, I didn't realize he was 6'4". I mean, he put Johnny Walker to sleep. Now, how much like kind of weight do you give the theory that like Johnny Walker has a glass chin and like you know that because
A
you
little
see
bit.
those takes out there.
I think that's a little bit of it, but I think I don't mean to discredit this win. I think it's a big win for Jamahal
Yeah,
Hill.
yeah, it's a big win, real big win, and really, I thought he fumbled the call out a little bit. Granted, I guess for the right reasons. He said he wanted this is the biggest opportunity, the biggest spotlight. He didn't want to waste it, which is why you come prepared. But you know, he did the classic. I got to talk to my team and all that. I guess the fight I want to see. Reyes is ranked 7. He's not matched up with anybody. Now you could say that's kind of cruel to give Reyes, Prohaska, and Jamahal Hill back to back, and like
I think that's the way the world works with the rankings in that division, to be quite honest, man, because Ankalaev needs to have a bigger opponent. Santos is kind of
tomorrow.
ahead still.
I didn't know this either, bro. Santos and Ankalaev are matched up. I didn't know this.
Okay, well,
They're matched up, so that makes
yeah,
sense. They take care of each other.
yeah, that's perfect.
And then you got Smith at 4, which that's the other name people are throwing around. I don't hate that for either guy because I mean, I don't know if Smith's going to get an easier fight. Not that Jamahal Hill's easy, but because Smith's ranked 4 right now. So it's like, you want Rockies, which we saw how that went, or do you want Prohaska? I mean, I'm sure he wants it for like getting closer to the title, but I'm saying fighting the 10th ranked guy, the 9th ranked guy is probably about as smooth for Anthony Smith is going to get at this point. And then for Jamahal Hill, I mean, that's a huge jump from 12 to 4, but we just saw with Tai Tuivasa. But I mean, he beat 10. Tai Tuivasa beat 3. It's different.
I could see Hill getting placed at number 8 or number 9, one of those
Yeah.
two. So I think his next fight with Reyes would make the most sense.
I mean, it's weird that this is gaining steam, which I disagree with. Who is it? Ozdemir at 8. A
I could
lot
see
of
that
people
too.
are saying that. I can see it for like on paper rankings wise, but it's like who wants to see that? Or some people are saying Krylov. Like who gives a shit? Maybe I'm just hating on those guys, but to me, those guys aren't that relevant in the division. I don't think either of those guys puts Hill in another main event. I don't think either of those guys are like that relevant to the division. Because I mean, Ozdemir, just one ranking higher, you get Dominic Reyes at 7, and how much more like name cachet does that hold? How much better does that look on a poster? That's a fight night main event 10 times out of 10, right? Like I think
Right.
Jamahal Hill, Ozdemir, is what, like the opening fight on a pay-per-view, or I mean like a co-main on a fight night. You know what I'm saying? I just don't see what that does for his career. I don't see what that does for the UFC. I don't see how that makes the UFC any money matching him up with Ozdemir. I've been seeing that so much on social media, and yeah, if you just look at the rankings, well, you beat 10. How about you try 8 or 9? But I just don't know if that's necessarily the way matchmaking's done with main event guys. I think that's a thing that like people are leaving out. When you're in a main event and you win your main event with a first round KO and get performance of the night 50K, I think it's safe to say this promotion probably wants to see you in another main event. And then you can
Right.
come at me with, well, he wasn't even supposed to be the main event. Yeah, but that kind of doesn't matter anymore, right? When you get the opportunity and perform to the highest level against a former main eventer, I mean, kind of what was supposed to happen or what should have happened, I mean, it kind of no longer matters in my opinion.
Yeah, I think Jamal Hill's next fight is going to be a top 10 opponent. Obviously, he'll be in the top 10 himself.
Yeah.
And I think it'll be on a pay-per-view in like probably the third or fourth slot.
See, I think that's what happens if you get him with Ozdemir. I think if you get him with Reyes, I don't see why they don't do a fight night main event. I mean,
Maybe.
Reyes' last fight was a fight night main event. Hill's last fight was a fight night main event. I think that makes a lot of sense to me. I don't hate your point. Give us a subscription on YouTube. We really appreciate it. Like some videos, share some videos, leave some comments. And hey, man, you enjoy the rest of your night and the rest of your week, man.
Appreciate it, bro. You too. I will see
Take
you
it
for
easy.
that fight next week. Gonna be a
Yeah,
fun one.
looking forward to it, man.